All right, Pisces. So the message here is pretty simple. It really is about you needing to have more faith when it comes to a partnership, but more specifically being able to co-create with another. But I think that the reason why there is a lack of faith is due to conditioning. So the sacred union, and this did show up as an ally for you, which is always a good omen. This is about your partnerships. The first thing that it talks about is your partnership with the divine and being able to co-create your life and needing to have a little bit more faith. The other part of this, though, is obviously about the partnerships that you have with others and the value of those partnerships. And it could be any partnership, family, friends, business associates, and of course, romantic relationships. But there may be a lack of faith due to past experiences. It's like being conditioned to believe that relationships go nowhere, or that someone else isn't going to want the same things that you do. So for those of you who are single, this may be needing to have more faith that you're going to find that kind of partnership. For some of you, it could be somebody new coming into your life. But because of your past experiences and past conditioning, you may not have any faith that this relationship is going to go anywhere, or that, like I said, this person wants the same things that you do. For those of you who are married, all right, Pisces, here's your overall. Oh, shit. The Tower. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness. All right, so Pisces, there's going to be a sudden, shocking shift. Okay, so now this doesn't have to be a bad thing. It may be that, this is something that you need to do in order to get out of a rut. It almost has the feeling of, I'm going to drastically change everything and just boom and clean the slate. And it's like, I need to do this or I'm never going to make the next steps forward. For some of you, it may be that you don't want a situation to completely fall apart, but I don't think that the Tower here is a bad thing. Now, something shocking may be coming up for some of you, but we're not looking at this in future conditions. So I kind of look at this as like something that you need to focus on. If you've already experienced the Tower and that Tower moment, then it's about what you're doing now surrounding this. But I don't know, I kind of get the feeling that some of you need to make a drastic, sudden change. And that could be moving. It could be changing your career, changing your relationships even, right? But it is cleaning the slate here, big time, big time. In the past, the Page of Cups. All right. So now, I don't necessarily think, because I'm looking at this as you, I don't think that this is about, somebody communicating the way that they feel and it being a sudden shock to you and it changing everything. I don't think that that's it. I think that the drastic changes you're wanting to make is because of these feelings that are coming back to you. The Page of Cups is always purity in emotions. And it's either something you've never felt before, or it's something you haven't felt in a really long time. But there is the communication of those emotions as well. This could be really good news coming in for some of you, and it could be creative. It doesn't necessarily have to be about love. But, we are talking about overwhelming emotions though too. And there may be an offer being made, and that is where there needs to be a sudden shift. Oh, Pisces, I'm telling you, look at it. In the present, the Two of Cups, some of you may be focused on a partnership right now. And what I worry about is with the Tower, is it's one of two things here. You're either so focused on this partnership that you're willing to make drastic changes for that partnership, or you're letting things fall apart here. But it is about... I go back to the traditional meaning of the Tower, right? It's this bullshit can't stand in your life anymore, right? It is the collapse of something that was built a little bit too high. That could be beliefs. It could be, the way that you used to be in partnerships. But a relationship in particular may be causing drastic change in your life. But these feelings are coming through from a very pure place with the Page of Cups, which is good. I would rather see that than the Knight of Cups because, like I always say, I love him, but I don't. Oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, the Knight of Cups. Okay, the Knight of Cups in future conditions. We'll see. We'll see how this goes here. Because the Tower is a little bit iffy for me on this situation. You may be shocked at what you're willing to do here, though, if we're talking about you. But I would say that maybe some of you are dealing with another water sign, possibly. Oh, the Page of Cups. Coming in with pure intentions is great. But with the Knight of Cups, the thing is that sometimes our emotions change. But this is the messenger of love and romance. You may be focused on someone in particular and you may be making the offer or they're making the offer here. But I'm still like about the Tower, because the thing is with the Knight of Cups, things could change and the situation could fall apart, right? And I'm not trying to be negative about it. It's just, I love him, but I don't, But this could really be about you needing to make drastic changes in order to follow what your heart wants, right? Because the Knight of Cups goes where he feels. He or she. Holy crap, man. Oh, your best path to follow, the Eight of Cups. Who else had this where I was like, what? Why? Why would that be your advice? I think it might have been Scorpio. Interesting. So the Eight of Cups being your best path to follow. Here's the thing. If it is about needing to make drastic changes in a relationship in order to be able to accept an offer or follow your heart, this could be about you needing to stop feeding into emotions that are not serving you, because we are talking about an emotionally draining situation. Now, if you are dealing with somebody who is emotionally flaky as fuck, then it is going to be about you needing to move on. But there is the feeling of needing to abandon a certain ideal when it comes to the way that you feel about a partnership. It needs to come down. It needs to change. Now, the other part of this is you don't want to get involved with a partnership here where it's draining to you. But there may be something, though, that you have to move on from. And again, drastic change, right? So this could be about a different relationship. For some of you, yeah, it could be about, you being in a partnership right now, but you being given the offer to have a different connection. But we'll see. We'll see here, because I'm still iffy on this Eight of Cups. What is it that you need to move on from that is emotionally draining? Okay. Well, I love it when my questions are immediately answered. In your environment, the Seven of Cups. Listen to me when I tell you this, okay? Not everybody is going to live up to the fantasy that you have. Don't project a fantasy onto somebody that they cannot live up to, okay? Now, the other part of this, though, is with the Seven of Cups and going back to your lack of faith. You can't base the choice that you make in this partnership on things that are not real. Okay, so it's like, I don't see how this relationship is going to develop. So I'm just content to fantasize about things rather than, doing anything about it. But this is really about fantasizing about a specific partnership here, but not doing anything to gain that. But the thing is, you have offers all the way around you, and it may be that you don't trust your own emotions. But this is like, I just don't see how this is going to go anywhere. And it's funny because of your oracle cards. But that may be what you need to move on from, is the things that are emotionally draining to you, because they may cause destruction in what could otherwise be a very good situation or a very good partnership, right? And yeah, it doesn't have to be love, but I don't know. Considering the Knight and the Page of Cups surrounding the two, I'm pretty sure that this has to do with love for some of you. Now, this may be a new partnership that's coming through, but you just don't have a whole lot of faith in it, right? Or believe that it's going to turn into anything. But if you're not willing to make any sudden changes, then, that Knight of Cups may move on. And it may be that if this person moves on, you may have to accept the consequences of that, or it's vice versa. You know, especially if you're dealing with a person here who is known to not really follow through. Wow, man. Your hopes and your fears, the Four of Pentacles. This is withholding. This is withholding. But also we're talking about wanting to maintain things, not wanting things to fall apart. For some of you, it's just, I want to maintain things the way that they are. I don't want this sudden shift or change. But again, with the Tower, it's needed. It needs to happen. Now, some of you may be fearing opening up and sharing anything because you may fear that it's not going to be reciprocated, right? I feel like for a lot of you, this is a partnership that's like on the verge, right? For some of you, it's drastic changes need to be made here in order to see where this partnership is going to go. For others of you, you're very close to having this completely fall apart. And that may be because you don't want to give any emotional support to this. I'm not necessarily looking at a partnership where the two of you are not seeing things the same way. There is harmony here. And there is a nice blending of light and dark. It's perfect, right? But there is fantasy being projected onto a partnership, something that can't withstand. But it's coming from a pure place. I just don't think that you trust yourself and what you feel. And for some of you, you may be not wanting to open up to these emotions at all. But regardless, an offer is still being made here. Oh my God. And then the Five of Swords. You want to talk about sabotage. There you go. That's, man, Pisces, I'm telling you, right? And like we always say, nothing's ever set in stone. None of that shit needs to happen. But, you know, then again, if you are dealing with somebody who is acting like an asshole, it would make sense that, you know, the situation like completely falls apart. But the thing is I'm still going back to, there's a reason why all this shit is showing up with sacred union and faith. Seriously. Now, this could be a situation that you need to deal with. And like I said, like needing to walk away from something here that could sabotage what you have going on with a partnership. And then the Eight of Wands and things change. You know, and we may be getting past this. But I'm looking at a situation that is moving very quickly, very quickly. This may be something outside of this partnership that may be causing problems. And that may be why you don't think it's going to go anywhere, especially if we're talking about you getting involved with a person who has another situation that they need to take care of, you know. But then again, I'm still looking at the Eight of Cups as your advice. When do you get to the point where emotionally you've been drained so much that you can't give anything to it anymore? You know, and then I look at the Four of Pentacles and again, withholding, right? But that's more of a fear that things aren't being reciprocated. I just don't like the Five of Swords coming out, but I think it's sabotaging the situation. The King of Pentacles. This may be the person that you're dealing with, male, female. We could be talking about earth sign, but I always look at the King of Pentacles as somebody who has the ability to make a situation successful. But we're talking about what is realistic and what is practical. Now, unfortunately, with the Five of Swords, there may be emotions coming up with a person from the past here who may have only been focused on what they can gain by being involved with you. And this could very well be a business partnership, but you know me. With all this shit going on, yeah, I'm pretty sure that this has to do with love. And then you have the Five of Cups, where we're talking about disappointments that may have happened from the past due to somebody's personality. You know, but the message there is that not all is lost. Those two cups are still there, and it's with the Two of Cups and the Seven of Cups. You just don't see how things are going to move forward. But again, you're being told to have faith. And with the Eight of Wands, things could change quickly, especially if there's an offer made. And it may be that, you know, things need to drastically change so that we're not fighting anymore. We're not in this place of sabotaging the situation. You know, and I don't think that it's moving too quickly. I think that, you know, the Eight of Wands is showing up for a reason here in terms of getting things lined up and ready to go to make a sudden shift. so that the partnership can be focused on and building that, right? But you just don't have any faith, and that may be the issue though too. But communication is strained here with the Five of Swords for sure. All right. So reconnect with spirit. This is you needing to get back into a place where you are connected with the divine, right? And connected with your own soul and what your own soul wants. And you need to tap into that inner power to follow passion, right? It's not bad, but there is a real risk of something falling completely apart. And I worry about what kind of emotional state that puts you in. And then answering the call, the time is now. The time is now to overcome any obstacles that may be blocking a partnership. This one is like, it's major. It's a big thing. It's a thing that is going to shake your foundation. Things are going to drastically change. And we can either get things back on track and provide what's necessary to make this partnership successful, or we can let things completely fall apart. And then you're going to be left in a place where it's not about abandonment anymore. It's that there is nothing left to save. You see what I'm saying? But you need to reconnect with your own soul here and find passion and the inner power here to overcome whatever is going on with the situation. That sabotage, like I said, could be on either side. And that's what I feel like more so than anything with this. It's like wanting to be able to follow your heart, but knowing that something is standing in the way. You know, and with the Five of Swords, right, push comes to shove, you got to stand up for yourself. You don't want to be in a place of absolute defeat, but you don't want to be taken advantage of though either. You know, you guys will have to let me know on this one, but I keep going back to the message of have faith in this partnership.